Hello everyone, welcome back to Photoshop in Arabic. And in this tutorial, I'm going to talk about something really quick that will help you a lot if you are a beginner and you are struggling with making selections, especially with the select subject in the background in the right way. So let's go over this real quick. So if you're talking about doing a portrait session or anything that has to do with people, what works best with the select subject and background is when your photo has two things. Number one, the subject is clear. What I mean by that is like this image right here. The girl is the subject. Everything around her is just background, right? So it's very easy for Photoshop to understand what is the subject and what is the background. It makes the selection a lot easier. The second thing is to have a clear outline. And what I mean by that is having a clear separation between the subject and the background. For example, in this image right here, I have a clear outline because there is a tree in the background and there is some branches that kind of separate me from the background. And also, I have a wide-angle shot so it makes it easier to separate myself from the background. For example, in this photo, it's going to be harder for Photoshop to make a selection because, first of all, we don't have a clear subject. We don't know what to keep and what to remove. And also, there is no clear outline. So there is no separation between the background and the subject. So it's going to be harder for Photoshop to understand what's going on. So let me show you an example with this photo. If I go into Select and then select Subject, you can see what happens. It selects everything but the main subject, which is me. And that's because I have a lot of stuff in the foreground, and also I have a very similar color between the background and my subject. So it's hard to separate them. Now if I go back and I use this image right here, which has a clear subject and a clear outline, if I go into Select Subject, you will notice that I got selected perfectly. The branch is part of the background, so it didn't include that. Even my hand is behind the branch, so it didn't include that either. And that's what you want. So you need to look for images like this where you have a clear subject and a clear outline. And I'm not saying that you're going to get it right every time with a clear outline. Sometimes you still have to do some adjustments. But at least it's going to be easier than images like this where you have nothing to work with. If you have any questions about that, leave them in the comments below. And also, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe and turn on the notifications so you get notified every time I upload a new video. And now let's continue with the lesson. In the next one, I'm going to show you how to fix this selection right here. I'm going to go over this in detail, how to fix it and make it better. So make sure to watch the next video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And remember, stay tuned and make sure that you keep creating.